Hello readers and writers, welcome back. I did it again. I have come to the conclusion that I can convince myself about anything. Instead of maybe being an English major, I should look into law because I'm very convincing. I bought 2 more books. I know this is getting out of hand. I'm going to stop going to bookstores. But I went to Barnes & Noble this time instead of Books A Million. I was like, you know what, let's just see what they got. They had a lot. A lot of books that I couldn't find in Books A Million. So first off, we have For the Wolf by Hannah Wyton. Yeah, Wyton. This is actually a new release. It was published in June of 2021. And I believe I mentioned it in my new releases of June video. I'll link that up there for you guys. But yeah, like when I saw it, I'm like, that's a paperback and it's a new release? That's amazing! And then I looked on Goodreads and saw that it doesn't have, unless I just skimmed over it, have a hardcover copy. It has ebook, paperback, and I think like Audible. I was like, okay, but Books A Million didn't have it, so I'm like, how often is it that a new release comes out in paperback that I can actually get? It's very rare. It's very, very, very rare. A lot of the new books that I mention in my new releases, I can't read because they come out in hardback first, and then they transition to paperback. But not this one. This one came out paperback. I'm like, okay, I need to get that. And then second off, we have The Crow Rider by Kaylin Josephson. This is the sequel to The Storm Crow. You guys know me. I love The Storm Crow. Loved it to death. And I've been waiting for the sequel forever. And like in April, it came out in paperback. However, I haven't seen it one time in Books A Million. They had it in Barnes & Noble, so I had to get it. I'm like, oh my gosh, finally. So, these are really good things. These are books that I've either been waiting on for a while, or I thought I was going to be waiting on for a while. So yeah, that happened. I need to stop buying books, but it's okay. It's okay. I think I have 2 weeks before school starts again. In that time, I'm going to try to read more. I just finished Shutter Island on Audible. I actually really liked it. I want to read more books by, I think it's Dennis Leham, something like that. I want to read more books by him, and then I'm going to listen to The Couple Next Door. So there's that. So I already got 1 book down in August. Hopefully I can get some physical books down and start knocking out this ridiculous freaking TBR. This is insane. But anyway, sorry for the long intro. Let's get into the video. This is the 8 new releases in August that I want to read. How We Fall Apart by Katie Zaho. This one comes out August 17th. This one is a murder mystery. It is about the main protagonist named Nancy, and her best friend Jamie goes missing and then later is found dead, and someone called the Proctor is blaming the friend group for it. So they have to try to figure out who killed their friend, who's trying to set them up, all that kind of stuff. So this one sounds really good. It kind of sounds a bit similar. If I just had to compare it to what I've read, it would probably be something along the lines of The Good Girl's Guide to Murder, with, hey, this person is dead. Oh, but then someone's also doing this, so I need to figure out both mysteries at the same time. However, I'm always good and down for a blame game situation, especially if it arises tension within the friend group. I don't like it when they split up. It's just smarter for them to stick together. However, I do like it when they're like, oh, I didn't know that you did that. That's a really bad secret. And they're like, yeah, but it's okay. I like that kind of stuff. I like those deep talks. I've said that multiple times already. But essentially, Nancy is threatened to lose her scholarship. And then she suspects that her friends may be keeping secrets from her too. So this one, I'm not going to lie, the cover is not my favorite. However, I am willing to look past that if this gets good ratings on Goodreads. However, right now though, it's standing at a 3.85 with 119 reviews and 156 ratings. So I don't really know if that's going to go up or down. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about it. It seems cool. It seems interesting. It's just one of those things where it's like, this could be like a few other mysteries. The Devil Makes 3 by Tori Bovalino. This book comes out August 10th, so relatively soon. This one, at first, it sounds like a contemporary, but then you read on and you realize, oh, this is a fantasy, if not an urban fantasy. I don't think it's an urban fantasy. I think it's just a fantasy. It's about the main protagonist named Tess, and she's forced to go to summer school where she is working in the library, and there's this boy whose name is Elliot. He's like the stereotypical, like, you know, snarky, snide, rude, bad boy. However, one day the pair of them accidentally release this demon into the world, and it wants Tess. And essentially it will take her dead or alive. It doesn't really care, and it does not want to go back into the book. So I can see them teaming up, and it does look like Elliot does have strange magic, so we do have something there. I'm not gonna lie, this one really reminds me of Sorcery of Thorns. I forget who wrote it, but I'll have a picture up there for you guys to look at. This one essentially took place in a library, and it had a book-bound demon come to life and like kill people and then frame her somehow, and etc. So I hope that it doesn't really follow that plot, because that book wasn't my favorite. I think I gave it like 3 or 4 stars. I was like, it's okay. But yeah, this one I can either see myself hating or loving. If the trope between the two of them, between Tess and Elliot, goes on long enough of them just like denying their likeness for one another, but then like they have a revelation. It's like, I've always loved you. I've always loved you too. That just annoys me. It just annoys me. I would like it so much better. I want to see this in more books where like someone goes, I have always loved you, and they just go, oh, I know. like you know, they make it obvious, and they both know that they have feelings for one another, instead of just being like, no, I hate you, and then like turn around like, her eyes and her hair and her scent. Oh my goodness, she's so pretty. You know, I just don't like that. I can tolerate it. However, if it's a constant throughout the book and it's very clear that they both like one another and they're both like, I can't live without you, but I'm going to deny my love, then that's where I start to have a problem with it. So hopefully that doesn't happen. That's really all I got to say about that book. Let's move on. The Endless Skies by Shannon Price. This one comes out August 17th. This one is about the main protagonist whose name is Rowan, and she essentially lives in a city in the sky, and she's training to be this elite warrior. There's peace across the land. However, one day a disease breaks out. We love that. And it starts infecting all the children. And she and her friends are sent on a mission to go find, I believe it's the cure for that, but then she discovers secrets like they always do, and then she has to choose like they always do between their world and then saving the ones that they love. However, like technically if you save your world, you'll be saving the ones that you love, because like they're one and the same, you know? But yeah, this one, I don't know, like this one is very interesting, and I don't read a lot of books that take place in the sky. Besides like Greek mythology and Olympus, like I don't really venture that way a lot. So this one, it seems pretty interesting. However, I can see this virus or this sickness just like coming from the bad guy and just being like, haha, I've killed the next generation. Neil. I can see that happening, which would be clever if it was like a poison or a toxin. However, if it's just like, I don't know, like a natural substance, like the earth is actually producing it, then I don't know how I feel about that. I haven't read enough books involving plagues and sicknesses and all that kind of stuff to really say if I like the trope or not. Obviously, in real life, I don't like the trope. In books, I don't know. It does interest me, though. I believe it's not here. The book isn't here. But it was The Merciful Crow. There was, like, a tease of a plague. And then, like, I turned the chapter, and it was, like, one guy was sick. I'm like, well, that's not a plague then, sweetie. That's just one guy being sick, running around the town, screaming his head off. I don't know why they flashed the plague beacon and called you there. That was uncalled for. But, however, I do like mass hysteria. Obviously not in real life. Okay, from this point forward, anything that I talk about involving plague, I'm strictly talking about the book. I'm not talking about real life. I can't believe I have to say this. Oh my gosh. Okay. But yeah, like, I like mass hysteria, that kind of stuff. Essentially, like, oh my gosh, everyone's gonna die, and people just kind of go crazy. Like, I love looting stories, or, like, especially in movies when, like, the city is just going down, and, you know, people are just, like, robbing everything. It's essentially just, like, a crime-ridden paradise, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I want that extent in this book. I do kind of want something like that. However, there is a secret, like always, and my guess is the secret has to deal with Earth. My guess is that her entire life she's been told that, like, humans are disgusting creatures and vile and all that. And then she discovers that, like, they're not, and they're smarter than she's been told and all that. And she's like, oh my gosh, we've been living a lie. But I don't know. I'm not going to know for a long time because I'm pretty sure. Yep, it comes out in hardback first and then it's going to be in paperback, so we won't know for a while. So that's very fun. Forestborn by Elaine, Audrey, Becker, yes. This one comes out August 31st, so at the very end of the month. This one is about a girl named Aurora, and she grew up in the forest. She is actually a shapeshifter, and the king uses her to, like, spy on the enemies and all that kind of stuff. Very fun. However, I don't know why this keeps appearing, but there's a plague, and this sickness, like, infects her friend and the prince, and she is forced to go back into the forest where she was born, in a place where she swore to never return, to find Stardust, which is the rarest elemental magic, and save them. So yeah, that's about it. The name Aurora, however, does lead me to believe that this is a retelling somehow of Sleeping Beauty. Was her name Aurora, or was it Aurora? What was it? I don't know. I don't know her name. If this is a retelling, I'm most likely not going to read it. I don't like retellings. There are very few retellings that I would ever read. The only few that I would read would be The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which hasn't happened yet. Come on, people, do it or I'm gonna do it. Honestly, please, please, please. And that's honestly about it. That's really the only retelling that I'll watch based off of a Disney property, most likely, unless there's one I'm missing, but I don't think I am. No, maybe Alice in Wonderland, question mark? I don't know. I just know that Beauty and the Beast has been done to death, and I'm sick of seeing just retellings for it. Anyway, side rant over, so sorry about that. And this one does seem very interesting and unique within its premise involving shape-shifting, and then a new element is being brought into the book, which is Stardust. So that's very nice. However, there were mentions of two boys, and I pray to God that there is not a love triangle. If there is, if you manage to get your hands on this book, comment down below and tell me if there's a love triangle. If there is, I'm not reading it. But yeah, that's about it. That's really all I gotta say about this. I'm excited for it. Hopefully the forest gives me, like, a creepy atmosphere. I love that kind of stuff. So, high hopes. Sort of. The Woods Are Always Watching by Stephanie Perkins. This one comes out August 31st, so again at the very end of the month. And this author also wrote There's Someone Inside Your House. Now this cover looks very similar to that cover. I did check, however, and this is not a sequel. This is a standalone. I don't know why they made them so similar, but that's okay. But yeah, this one is essentially about two friends, Nina and Josie, and they are about to separate and go to college, and so they go hiking, and tensions lead them off trail, and then some horrific stuff begins to happen. This one, I don't know how I feel about it. I've seen a lot of movies like this. There was one involving like a couple and then a bear attacks them. If I can find that movie poster, I will put it on the screen. If not, I have no idea. And then another one, it's the Ritual? Is it The Ritual? It might be. It's like these group of friends. One of their friends dies, so they go on this hike in like remembrance of him, and then some creepy voodoo stuff begins to happen. And that's all I say. It's a movie and a book. So, yeah. So that kind of reminds me of that one. And then, like, the last line is something that will test them in horrifying ways. So, my guess is, like, either a cult, some form of magic system, or, like, supernatural things, like in the Blair Witch. I'm not entirely sure. So that's kind of what I'm hoping. I'm not going to lie. I'm also kind of hoping for body horror. I really want body horror in this book. Please. But I don't think there's going to be any of that in there. So this one seems kind of run-of-the-mill. However, never mind. I thought that was a 4. It's not. It's rated 3.66. It has 65 ratings and 42 reviews. So it's not terrible. It's not as high, though, as I was hoping it to be. So I don't know if this one is just really cliche or like the twist of what they find out there is a letdown. But that's all I got for that one. The Perfect Place to Die by Bryce Moore. This one comes out August 3rd, so it's already out by the time this video is going to be up. This one, I'm not going to lie, the cover is not my favorite. However, this premise really caught my attention. So, this girl, her name is Zaretta. She lives in Utah. Then her sister goes to Chicago. And there she goes missing. So, she tracks her sister down to the last place of employment, which just so happens to be a hotel. This is the exciting part. I believe that this is a retelling of H.H. Holmes. If you don't know him, he is claimed to be one of the first American serial killers. He was the one, and it's in here too, the Castle. That was the name of his hotel. I believe that was the name of the hotel in real life. But you may have heard of it. It's called the Murder Hotel. So essentially, his guests and his employees he would invite in, and then some hallways were, dead ends. He would essentially chase them around the place. Some rooms were, to be filled with gas or like poison or stuff like that. And then he would sell their skeletons on those little, the things in the science room. It's the skeleton, it's just hanging there on the hook. He would resell those to like universities. So he was also making a profit. However, he didn't kill every single one of his employees or every single one of his clientele. So that's how he didn't get caught for so long, is because not everyone that he encountered died. So I think this is a retelling. You guys can tell that I'm really excited about this one. I made a new playlist. It should be public. It's called Crime/horror, maybe? Crimes? I don't know. But there it has all my documentaries of like John Wayne Gacy, H.H. Holmes, Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, all those kind of people. I'm really into that kind of stuff. I really like watching it. Like, I've watched Dr. Death, so I'm really interested in reading a fictional book about one of these people instead of just a retelling. So there's that. It's not the best rated, but I don't really care, and there aren't too many books written about H.H. Holmes. There's one spin-off. It's in American Horror Story. I forget which season it was, but it's Season Hotel. And Adam Peters plays like this eccentric guy that's a ghost in the hotel, and he had made his hotel a murder hotel. So that's basically the idea. They have different names, kind of different concepts, and there are vampires in American Horror Story. However, the murder hotel and H.H. Holmes and Adam Peters, they were pretty much the same character. So there's that. So yeah, I'm really excited about this book. Yeah, I'm so sorry about like that like burst of energy. I don't know where that came from, but I'm excited and happy about that. So yeah, sorry. The Dark Way Down by Chelsea Acaso, I think. This one comes out August 3rd, so this one is already out. This one is about a girl named Savannah and her sister Piper. So Piper was at suicide point and actually jumped off, and now she's in a coma. Savannah is racked with guilt, and she's like, oh, it's my fault, until she finds a note in Piper's locker telling her to meet at the point in which she fell. So that means that she most likely wasn't alone, and that leads her to this club in the school. So she has to join the club, try to find out who was there, who pushed off her sister, and all that kind of stuff. This one, it seems pretty good. I hope it's not too preppy. I hope it focuses more on the mystery. But it is a club, so I don't know. I might be able to deal with the club scenario in this instance. This kind of reminds me of a Forensic Files episode in which some girl fell off the side of a cliff in California and ended up passing away. But the police looked at the camera roll of the two other people who were supposedly with her that day, or were with her, but they were like, we turned our backs and she was gone. And they saw that it looked like in one of the photos they were pushing her off. So this kind of reminds me of that. So hopefully we get that same kind of like, you know, chillingness and all that kind of stuff. I do have high hopes for this book, not extremely high, but it does seem really, really, really good. And I do love a good, oh my goodness, someone else was involved. This wasn't my sister's doing, you know? But that's really all I can say about the book. There isn't much else, so thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. And it means the world to me if you follow me on all my social media, such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Those will be listed down in the description below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!